these things. And then BMXs came out, and everybody jumped on them. But this is when graffiti and breakdancing and hip hop was all landing in England. You know, it was like 1985. You know, and we were getting into the Fat Boys and all these. You know, Dougie Fresh. We were getting into all of that as kids and starting to do graffiti everywhere. It was a great. But then I went back there, as I said, I hadn't been back there in years, and went back there this time, and it just seemed insane to me. It went over there. It was just so crowded. You couldn't believe it. You know, and you trying to move anywhere in a car was a joke, and I wouldn't have no interest in living there ever again.
Really?
You know, but I did live near a great big park called Crystal Palace that was beautiful. That was an Olympic village during like the Commonwealth Games or the Olympics years ago. It was the center of the first ever World Trade Fair Center, the World Trade thing that they did like 100 in the Victorian age, and they had this big glass palace, and it burned down like 50 years after it was built. But it's a beautiful area, and I watched a comedian called. I watched a comedian in the Sydney Opera House, and he talked about the Crystal Palace area, and he said it's so dilapidated now, but he said because it was built in the Victorian age, it has this beautiful sense that one day it's going to rise again.
Wow. It's
kind of like Woollahra in Sydney, but just dilapidated. And he said one day this place is going to come back. You know, it's a great spot.
Unreal.
Yeah. And there's shitloads of big dinosaurs in that park, like almost life-size dinosaurs.
What?
That are just
fake ones?
Just fake ones. No, real ones. You can ride around on them. No, they just got a rhinoceros and like stuck a few armored plates around his neck to make a stegosaurus.
Hey, have you? You're from Dublin.
Yeah.
Oh, I went to this Irish bar on Friday night.
Played a gig there,
Yeah, Fiddler's Green. But all the staff are Irish. The owners are Irish. They actually own a pub in Ireland, and they're actually from Dublin.
Wow.
Dublin, yeah.
Yeah, Dublin.
Yeah, and damn, there's nothing like an Irish bar, especially now. I lived in Sydney too. You lived in Sydney. It's still there's some old pubs there, or what Aussies call. So there's nothing old in the Gold Coast anymore.
Yeah.
But to go into an Irish bar that was once a Bavarian steakhouse, okay, to open when you're loading in, you open odd doors like the cupboards and whatnot, and you see this place that was built probably in the 70s, even early the 60s. It just felt like it was 300 years old. And to have all the staff speaking to you in this Irish accent, I was like, oh man, I'm taken away. It's
teleportation.
Beautiful. Here's a moral question for you.
Oh, that's not going to be one of those.
A big moral question for any man, right? And I'm so upset about this. We go to an Irish bar. There's 4 guys in the band. It's the bass player's last show. It's our one celebration. Here's the last thing. So the first thing I do is go to the bar and say, 4 pints of Guinness, please. I don't even care what brand. Just 4 pints of Guinness. We're in an Irish bar.
4 middies.
A trophy beer.
Yeah.
$8 each, I'll have you know too. I need to throw that in, right? I go over to the band. Boys, our drummer goes, hell yeah, grabs it. The bass player goes, I don't like Guinness. The guitar player goes, I don't drink beer. I only drink Southern Comfort and Coke. And I went, you're joking, right?
I've got 3 Guinnesses to drink.
Yeah, but it went on for 15 minutes. I was like, you better drink this beer. No, I don't drink it. No, don't you understand? This is like the last gig. This is the last boys together. He just sipped the froth like her. That's all he did. Like this poster on the wall. He just sipped it and then put it down and went, nah, oh, yuck, that's bitter. I can't drink. Oh, man, I'm still so angry about that. So that's the moral question. If someone passes you a drink, or more to the point, I think we spoke about this a week ago. When have you ever had a drink, if you're starving in the desert, someone passes you a drink, every drink tastes good, right?
Yeah.
It does. There's some taste that maybe Chinotto, you know that Italian stuff? Chinotto?
No.
It's this real weird taste, but I'll still drink it.
Yeah.
There aren't that many tastes that are unbearable.
So the question is, if I'm in a desert, lost in the desert, my band's breaking up, my bass players are going to go and look for water, and somebody passes us 4 Guinness.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to formulate
the
answer before
it's
you
an
finish.
Irish desert.
Yeah, the deserts of Ireland. Yeah.
Seriously, if someone buys you a drink, in those circumstances, do you have the guts to say no?
Oh, No, I'm Irish.
I can't think of that. I think thanks, man, and just drink it back.
Yeah, no, it's you don't really. I'll tell you, one time I did turn down a drink, and it almost got me in a fight. I was in a because when you're Irish, people basically, I don't sound Irish at all because I'm back and forth.
Oh, you do to me.
But listen, when I basically, I remember I did a motorbike trip right up the east coast of Australia, and like you get into these rinky-dink tin can towns, and no one's ever been there, kind of thing. You're on a motorbike, so you can go where cars don't go, and when you're on the map, it looks like a big place because there's a big black dot saying, you know, Jim Buckaroo Nanadan or whatever it is, and you go, I'm going to go here, and then you get there, and it's just like a bunch of caravans circled around a pub, and that's it. And you go into this bar, and you're like brushing the dust off your jacket, and going, oh Christ, I just came in here for one drink, you know. Yeah. And next thing you have a drink, and it's like all these old Aussie blokes like, oh, he's Irish, you know. And if you've got a girlfriend with you, oh, they're Irish, you know. Have a drink, mate. And they're all sending drinks your way. And they're like, listen, I've got a motorcycle outside, and there's semi-trailers and articulated lorries doing 140 k's an hour in the dust, and kangaroos everywhere. I can't have 10 drinks. Yeah. And then they get in the shit, and you're nearly getting a fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's happened. I've been in bars where people have wanted to fight because I wouldn't drink the drink they put in front of me.
Because you're Irish.
You know? Yeah. I want to drink with an Irish bloke. And you're like, mate, look at that.
It's funny.
It's happened in Nimbin, it's happened in Sydney, and it's happened up in towns like that where I've just gone, mate, I can't. You know what I mean?
And funny. You have to be funny. You're Irish. You got to be a good laugh, like Jim
Yeah.
Owen.
Yeah.
You know what I do whenever I go to Japan? People throw steak at me. For some reason in Japan, Australia means Aussie beef.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. Aussie beef. Yeah, you got all the Aussie beef because all McDonald's promote this burger has Aussie beef.
Yeah.
So everywhere I go, hang on, why is there like 20 steaks on the table here? Which I love. But they overdo it. They think, oh, he's Aussie. He'll have like 4 of these steaks.
Yeah. Hey, Japanese here. I don't know, whatever they do, but firing the stereotypes at people.
At least you're not from, I don't know, Afghanistan. Could be worse, man.
Have this RPG. Let's go. Fire this at somebody. You know?
I won't even fire it at someone.
No, I'll tell you a funny story. I was in Nimbin. I did a bike trip around Australia once, and I pulled up at Nimbin. And
here we go.
Yeah, it is. I pulled up in Nimbin on the motorbike, parked outside the Nimbin Hotel, went in, and this next thing I heard this Harley pull up outside, and this big Aussie biker. He was one of the Finks. He called himself the Fat Man.
Well, let's not say that on this podcast.
Hey, mate, this is 15 years ago. Who knows what he's doing today? You know what I mean? But he was an old guy with a big beard. And next thing, something funny was. He's like, oh mate, how's your trip? You know, and he was rare that these guys in bikie clubs in Harleys would talk to somebody who's on a Japanese bike. You know, and he's talking to me, and he seemed like a nice bloke, and we're having a bit of fun. Poured a few drinks in, and he's like getting into it in the middle of the day, and I haven't even booked a hotel yet. And 4 hours later, I'm like, mate, listen, I've got to get this bike out of here. I'm starting to get over the limit. I know I haven't got far to go, but let me get rid of the bike, and I'll come back. So I went off and got rid of the bike with my girlfriend, changed my clothes. We were gone for an hour. This guy's sinking whiskeys. I get back in the bar. He's got his shirt off, big belly hanging out, big hairy belly, and a leather jacket on. And he's standing by a pool table with a pool cue. And half of the bar are like standing on the other side of the pool table. And I'm taking my jacket off. And he turns around and announces my presence to the whole pub. He goes, hey, my Irish mate's here. And I go, yeah, g'day. And I'm lowering my jacket off my arm. My girlfriend's like still taking a crash helmet off, you know, and dropping a bag or whatever. And next thing he goes, want a game? And I said, yeah. And he threw a pool cue at me, and I caught it in midair. With that, he turned around and he just whacked this bloke across the head with his pool cue.
Jesus.
The whole pub jumped on him.
Oh, and you're his mate.
I'm his mate, yeah. And the next thing, he's like punching the shit out of people. They're punching the shit out of him. He's getting worked into the corner where I'm standing. People are starting to smash glasses at me, at the wall behind me. Chairs are flying at us. I'm swinging the cue. I like to keep people back like a zombie movie. Nimbin pub, there's no bouncers, so this no one's there to stop it. and I get pinned to the wall, and there's that many people trying to hit me in the face. I actually start getting lifted off the ground by punches and like driven up the wall like a poltergeist. I've got like 3 blokes holding me by the arms and the hips, and like just trying to shove my head through the roof. And like there's guys like punching me in the balls. I'm kicking guys in the face. I'm looking over the crowd that's holding me up. It was like the death of Gaddafi. You know what I mean? Like this mob attack. My girlfriend at the time is like swinging things at people and pulling them off away. And this bikie guy he's been thrown on his back. They're dragging him by the trousers. He's not wearing a belt, so his trousers have come off, and they're not going over his cowboy boots, so they're dragging him by the crotch of his jeans, like 4 people grabbing his crotch of his jeans and dragging him his bare ass along the floor with his jacket rolled up, and he's getting scraped along the ground, dragged out the door. And I'm up and getting my head bashed into the wall and getting kicked through the jukebox. And this has gone on for what seemed like 10 minutes. It was gone on for like maybe a minute and a half. And next thing... everybody, like, you know, this guy's like grabbed the chair and swung it at people, dragging him around as he's being dragged past the chair. And he's got back on his feet, pulled his pants up, and he starts swinging and throwing snooker balls everywhere. People are I've stopped fighting back because I'm getting smashed. And next thing, everyone's tired. This is just the adrenaline that's just killed everyone. Everyone backs into separate corners of the room. And this fucking bikie guy just slaps me on the back and goes, "You're all right, Irish?" And he jumps out the window and fucking tears off the road on his Harley. And I'm there with a busted nose and a crowd full of paranoid weed smoking hippies fucking going, what did you get involved for? And I was like, what do you mean get involved? You know, like you can kick the shit out of me. And man, I just grabbed my coat and we just left the drinks and we just ran out the door. And basically that night, I swear that guy must have made a phone call. There was about 200 Harleys just all night, just ripping through the town, looking for somebody to beat the shit out of. Wow. It was insane. Yeah, it was hard to sleep. Crazy.
Well, mate, I wanted to tell a huge story, but I know it's time to go.
Yeah.
What does Rowdy Ronnie Piper say?
Rowdy Piper?
I don't know. Yeah.
He's he was in a good film, actually, They Live. Yeah, I don't know what
Didn't he have a catchphrase?
Oh, they all had a catchphrase back in that day.
What's another catchphrase?
Ted DiBiase, everybody's got a price.
Everybody's got a price.
The $1 million man, you know.
All right, we're shutting it down.
Yeah, let's go.
Thanks for coming, mate.
Cheers.
Get back to work. We both got to get back to work.
Yeah, cheers.
This is just a lunch break, in inverted commas. All right, see ya.
Catch you later. Cheers.
There it is. Thanks for hanging around. I noticed the numbers the other day on this podcast are really, really climbing. That's really kind of strange and pretty scary. But I keep telling the people that come in to talk to me and just like, hey, let's just talk. Let's actually just talk like normal people. Don't force anything. And aim for the guy that's driving around London that once lived in Australia. And everything will be interesting. So if you drive a truck all over anywhere, or you just sit at a computer all day, I find podcasts where people are just talking normally are kind of interesting. You can kind of get lost in the conversation and not get distracted by music and stuff that really distracts me. So over and out for podcast number 29. And you're supposed to subscribe to stuff, so help a brother out, you know what I'm saying? Alright, later. I had a dream.